Okay, so you guys got to know this. There's a reason I'm excited, and it's because my guest tomorrow on the Mornings with Matt show is one of the most famous businessmen alive. He's been known as the most interesting man in the world. He has a beautiful wife, unbelievable family. He's smarter than he looks.
Okay.
It's Mr. George Bennett. So we're gonna have a great talk tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. If you dare to wake up early enough to watch us wrap it up a little. We're gonna talk a little bit about business, I think. So that'll be fun.
Beautiful wife.
I can hear myself back on somebody's computer. We'll just have to mute that. Okie dokie. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking a little bit about camera angles so we can use the Zoom to our best advantage. We're also going to talk about edits. So as improvisers, and we're going to be exploring some of this together. So I have some ideas. If you happen to watch the Mornings with Matt that I did with Phoebe, we sort of talked about this a little bit, and I went into a character with her. But we're going to kind of explore some different things and some options. And I think that every troupe, every school, every group of people that are improvising are going to have to come up with their own rules when it comes to their improv shows and what's going to work and what's not going to work. So we'll do that. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to start with the same 4 camera angles that we worked on in the script class. So if you're in the script class also, that'll be a bit of a review for you. But you're going to have to be able to do these camera angles quickly and set them, and then we're going to talk about how that works in improv, because you have to have patience. So when you go from one idea to the other, one scene to the next, you have to take your time and set. Imagine like you're in an improv scene and you're setting furniture. You want to be efficient, but you don't want to panic, and you don't want to go so fast that we kind of lose what's going on. So those are things we're going to be talking about tonight. Anybody got any questions before we begin? Hello, Christina Knowles. Welcome. Hello, just wave. All right, very good. And you're going to want more light there too, Christina. Let there be light.
Okay, let me try to figure that out.
You just have to turn yourself to be in an angle where the light's shining on you so we can see you. Okay. All right, good. So the first very simple angles we're going to be Jason, what is your background, bro? Like,
I know, right?
It looks like you're on a green screen and there's something behind. Like it's like it's incredible. I'm like I cannot.
I don't know why, but I just see Thor's hammer on his right. Like I'm pretty sure that's Thor's hammer.
I really want to teach, but I'm just fascinated by that wall. It's like very exciting to look at.
Like, did you use a virtual background or do you just live in the coolest home ever?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Okay, so camera angles we're going to talk about. First ones are going to be the very sort of obvious close up and wide angle. Okay, and what are you going to use each one for? So for your close up, I want you to think about your character's emotions and their thought life. You want to get right up close when you're watching another character, and we want to see how you're thinking about that character. The wide angle will be used for you to the wide angle is going to be used for you to establish our location. Can you mute her for me? Thank you. The wide angle will be used to establish your location and give you room to be physical. And ideally, we are improvising. You want to be bigger than you think you would be. So if you're mad, go in the wide angle and get really mad. Be very physical so that you bring attention to whatever that feeling is. Be grounded, but also like go for it. And then we're also going to use the wide angle probably for entrances and exits a lot. So we can like sort of set up a scene and it's going to tell us something when we just see a blank canvas. So Mr. Bennett there, could you step out of your camera, out of your frame, and just leave it? Okay, so we see this as a class, and we just see, okay, there's an empty chair, sort of a black background. He moves the chair slightly. Yeah. So what's interesting is I see a pillow now, barely. Well, now I see Christina.
I'm making it full screen so that the
There we go. Okay,
viewers
good.
can see
Yeah.
better.
So we see like we've got a I can barely see the pillow now, which now that sort of tells me something about this character. So if we were going to use the pillow as to inspire us, Mr. Bennett, let's make you now older when you come in, and then that would sort of help us initiate the space. So then come on in and kind of have a hard time sitting.
Oh.
He still looks young and chipper to me.
Yeah. Oh man.
He has a hard time being old. Okay, good.
He can't age. It just can't happen.
So let's bring everybody back in real quick.
All right, sounds good. We'll go back into the group view. All right.
All right, awesome. All right, now let me see here. Is everyone named on their squares? Do we have squares?
Is everybody named on their squares? That's a great question, and yes, they are.
Okay,
I
perfect.
only see them if the person talks.
What's that?
I only see the name if someone talks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. But you can see all the squares though, right, Jason?
Yes, I have to scoot over to see two because there's too many, but only like two extra if one's out. But yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so Monica, can we have you? Let's put you in the wide angle. So you leave your camera right there.
Okay.
Okay, and let's send you to the back of the room, like way back.
Can you see me?
Yep, keep going.
Okay.
Okay, good. And now from back there, let's pretend that you don't know you're being watched, and very quickly you're trying to clean the house before your like mother-in-law comes over. Okay, so just be sort of frantically like cleaning. Okay, ready and go.
Okay.
Okay, and now Danielle, let's bring you in a close-up. So bring your face way up. Okay, and now you're watching her and judging her.
Wait, I can't. Oh, there she is. Okay.
So even those big eyes right there were a little too much. You're a little bit too close. That's an extreme. So pull yourself back just a hair. Okay, good.
Here.
Yeah. And as you know what's going on and you know how you feel, now bring your eyes back to camera instead of seeing her, and now be a judgy mother-in-law. That's too much there. All right, good. Okay, we can stop. Come on back, Monica. Okay, so the idea, and we're gonna have two at a time that are gonna go, and so it'll just be the two squares. But the idea is, Danielle, when you're in that close up, you don't have to do much. You really just have to think and feel. That's all you got to do, and we'll be able to see your feelings. So let's do an exercise. Everybody, bring your face right up in the camera. Okay, here we go. Everyone at the same time, just think a thought, and you are worried. In love. Depressed. Euphoric. Terrified. All right, so let's bring our faces close again. Okay, so some of you have started scooting back. Let's go back to terrified. You don't have to do very much. You just need to think. So Danielle, your eyes are so massive. You have to imagine yourself in a close-up. You have to imagine yourself on a big screen, and when your eyes go like move like that, it's like poof, like it looks really big. And all it tells me is that you don't trust me as an audience to feel, to understand what you're feeling.
Oh,
And you have to trust us that we can read your thoughts.
Gotcha.
Okay? So when I say terrified, all you have to do is give yourself a feeling. So what you're doing is you're going like, let me show you terrified. Stop doing that.
Yeah. I know. It's like,
So give yourself a thought, and the thought is like someone, like you think someone's in your house, and now you just think it. See, that looks more scared and more real to me right there. And don't feel like you even have to move your eyes. You don't have to do all that. All that is like, it's too much.
Okay, it's distracting.
It's distracting. That's right. And it's not necessary, and it takes away from the reality. So what's interesting is we are teaching improv in a new way because we're not on stage. So we're sort of becoming sketch actors, and we're becoming, we're just working on our actual film acting while we're improvising, which is super fun. Hi, Phoebe. Welcome. You're late.
She had a rehearsal. She
You're
told
late.
Jay.
It doesn't matter. You're late.
Okay, all right.
All right, George. Let's have you come right into camera lens with your terrified. But look at the camera. You're not looking at the camera.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's on the it's on the other side. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. So the terrified is like someone's got you hostage. All right, good. And then right from there, everyone just keep your face still, okay? Keep your face still, and you see a loved one's baby. They just had a baby, and they're showing you. Okay, a puppy. Everyone likes the puppies.
Yeah, it was the same thing last time.
Okay. All right, awesome. Good job. Okay, now we're going to talk about 2 more angles, and then we're going to get to play with all these 4 angles and let you guys be creative as actors, okay? And then I'll do some coaching from within the scenes. So I'll probably do open scenes tonight and give you like something like 2 minutes or so to just sort of go, and then I'll come in and do some side coaching. So here are the other 2 angles I want to talk about for tonight. So far we have wide angle, close up. The other angles I want to talk about are low angle and high angle. The low angle is the camera low. So the camera's low, shooting up at you. So if everybody could sort of tilt your cameras up and you be above your camera, looking down into your camera. Good, and you can do that angle as a close-up. You can do that angle as a wide. George, you want more of an angle up? Chris, Manola, you want your more of an angle up there? All right, good. Now, feel this and understand that this is a power pose. So feel the power that you have and be looking down at the person you're talking to. You're looking down at them. It gives you power. It gives you strength. Chris, is it possible for you to do more of an angle up?
Yeah, let me pull this out of here.
Chris froze. You might have to bring her back in.
Gotcha. Oh, nope.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
There she is.
So you want it really tilted up. It's not an angle you normally put on yourself, but actually it can be used and be very powerful. So okay. So right now we're all in a power pose. Okay. So everyone, give me sort of like a bully thought life. Like I'm looking down on you and I'm better than you.
Oh man, this is intimidating.
Right? That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, let's use the same like upward angle, but I want everyone to give yourself room so that you can step back and we can see at least half your body at that same upward angle, okay?
What if you can't step back?
Then wheel back.
I'm not in my wheelchair.
Well, then you can just watch for the for the lesson so you can see it.
Okay.
Okay. So in your case, you would need probably somebody to help you with some of this sometimes.
Okay.
But you can definitely react to people. Okay. So now you're at a place where we can see a bit of your body. Jason, go ahead and step back and stand up straight. There you go. Okay, good. George, we want more of a where'd George go? We lose him?
George just disappeared.
Ah,
I'm gonna ask him to start his video kindly.
that's nice of you.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. All right,
See?
George. So put yourself in a position where you can set the camera down and then like step back from it, and we can see about half your body. All right, good. Now everyone put your hands on your hips, and you are Superman or Superwoman. Dun, dun, dun. Look off in the distance. You are gonna save the world. Good. Awesome. So now here's the deal. This pose, you are all powerful still. It's still power. This is a power angle. So you can be good guy, you can be bad guy from this angle. But this is the power angle. So we want to think, let me ask you a question. Everyone bring your faces back in. We'll talk for a second. So what characters in an improv scene or in any scene would be considered a powerful character, or in what maybe even more than that, like a relationship? So think about a relationship. If we had this person and this person, so and so would be the power character.
A teacher.
What's that?
A teacher.
That's right. Okay, good. Joy, why don't we mute them because there's some kind of feedback going on?
All right, sounds good.
So mute all of them and then bring them in one at a time as they raise their hands.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool. Cool. Ka-chew.
So we're muting you guys really quick, and then Joey's gonna bring you in as you raise your hand, so we don't have the feedback.
I got the power. I love saying that. It's like my favorite thing to do.
All right, so let's call on Chris Manola, please.
Oh, okay, great, cool. You didn't want me to sing my song?
I know I like the song. I loved it. I just
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
keep going. All right,
I
Chris,
got
what
you.
were you saying?
Oh, I said a teacher.
A teacher, yes, absolutely. So a teacher would be the power position in what relationship?
To a student.
That's right. Where would the teacher be not the power position?
Necessarily at home with their spouse.
Yeah, where else?
Grocery store.
They're not the power. Yeah, I mean, they could just be an even. What about at school, though?
Oh, yeah, you with the principal.
Principal, that's right. That easily. And then, so now the principal is the power position, right? Unless what? Unless they're in a scene with who? The superintendent.
Oh, right.
Right? And then the superintendent is the power position unless they're in the scene with the mayor, and it keeps going like that. And by the way, that's life. Like, we all should get used to that. Sometimes we're in the power position, and then next minute we're not. Okay, all right. Another relationship where you require the power position.
First person to raise their hand. Oh, dang, Christina, that was quick. All right. Go ahead.
CEO.
CEO, that's great. Very good.
All right. Next one. Danielle. Whew. Those hands are coming up quick. All right, go ahead.
A parent and a child.
Absolutely.
George. Go ahead.
A warden and a prisoner.
Yes.
Ah,
Good.
Good one.
No personal experience.
Keep rifling through, Joey.
All right, Christina again. Woo. What you got?
It could be either or, like a husband and a wife.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
It could go both ways.
So now think about this too. To Christina's point here, even every relationship you mentioned could go either way, right? So there's the typical, the warden would be typically the more powerful character, but it's interesting sometimes in an improv scene to play the warden as the weaker character and the prisoner the one that has the power. So that, again, you can be creative and you can think, oh, I've got this character that I'm working on, but I want to play the other side of this character, and that can be fun. All right. Okay, now let's talk about our high angle. So again, Just think about the word and the camera go together. So if it's a high angle, the camera goes high. So that's going to be camera above you pointing down. So if you're capable right now, let's go ahead and go into a high position, camera coming down at you. Now, depending on the severity of your angle, like we can see Phoebe right now looks very weak, very small. Monica looks more like innocent. Now she's looking tinier. And it's so funny. Like you can actually make yourself look like a little kid in this position very, very easily. So you want to think like if I'm the one getting bullied, what's the angle that really hits that, right? If I'm looking up at mom or dad, and even if I'm just in awe of them, because this angle again is like it's not a bad thing. So you might be the weaker character, or you might just be innocent. You might be younger. You might be really kind. So like there's a lot of things that can be accomplished from this angle, but you can see like just making this subtle move, subtle change, and then staying there can give your character a lot of direction. Okay, so let's bring everyone back in, and we'll do one quick pop quiz here, and then we're gonna move on to scene work.
Do you want me to unmute them all or one at a time?
I trust them. Let's bring them all in.
All right.
All right. So, pop quiz. What would you want to do if you were a director and you wanted to hide the bad guy and then reveal the bad guy halfway through the movie?
Shoot him low, or shoot him high for a while and then shoot him low.
That's right. That's exactly right. Tell him what he's won. He won a ticket to next week's class. You get to participate again. That's so cool. Okay. So, yes, that's exactly right. And I'm sure you've watched a movie before where you're like kind of watching, and it's a mystery. You don't know who done it thing. And then about halfway through, you're like, wait a minute, is he bad? Like, is that a bad guy? And you start questioning, and you don't even know why you're thinking that way. Well, it's because the director just literally went from here to here and shot this angle, and you go, wait a minute, I don't trust that person anymore. I used to, but that angle doesn't make me want to trust them. And you don't even know it's the angle. Like, you don't know they're doing it to you, but that's what they do.
If only the people did that in real life.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and then you have different other style movies, right? Where you'd have the like the protagonist might go from being really shy and like those like big makeover movies where the girl would start off as like this nerdy kind of like shy character, and then by the end she's super confident and proud and she's conquered the world. Again, they just do just like a subtle shift right there, and it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so we've got 4 angles that we're going to play with, and I want you to be creative. I want you to also be patient. So, Phoebe, are you on a phone by any chance?
I'm on a computer.
You're on a computer. Is anybody like on a phone that'd be easy to manipulate?
Yeah.
You are, George?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's do something where, let's say you want to as an actor, you want to set your camera. So like you just like a quick, not quick, but like efficient move where you're going to move, set the camera down in an angle that's going to give you a wide power shot. And then step out of frame and then step back into frame so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so that's sort of like a ceiling shot, and we want to see a wide where it would be wide of the room.
Okay.
There you go. Good. Okay, so yeah, so you step out. Nice, that's great. Okay, good. So the idea being, and you come on back, Joey. So the idea here is when you're the actor, just be the actor, be efficient, set it down, and then make it very obvious that now I'm coming back in as the character so that we as an audience can follow you. Okay? There's no reason to kind of like rush and panic. Just be efficient and then specific with your choices. Do we have questions right now before we jump into our scene work? Anybody? Yes, Christina?
I only got 3 because I think I missed the other one.
So there's
I got-
wide angle, close up, high angle, low angle.
Okay, that's what I got. Okay.
Cool.
That's 4.
Gosh.
The other thing is, I've also noticed that the wide angle tends to be better when you want to be watched. Sometimes as a character, you want to be watched. So let's just say, like Monica's character wanted to be seen trying to clean up her house, and it was a part of her character work. Then you set the wide, and then you act as if nobody's watching you, and then you have this quick moment of oh, I got caught on camera, oh, and then you walk over. And then to be watching somebody is much better in the close-up because we want to see your eyes and how you're reacting to the other person.
Matt, would you say that there are watchers and there are doers?
I would say in this world there are watchers and there are doers. These guys make fun of my little quotes all the time. So, all right, here we go. Let's bring in our first 2 actors. Joey, I'm going to let you control that. Everybody else, if you get sent out, you're going to be in our virtual lobby, which means you're going to jump over to the live. So you'll unmute your live video, and you get to see the work and listen to the coaching, and then you'll get a notice on your Zoom link that you're going to be brought back into the classroom. So imagine that if you're in the virtual lobby, you're essentially sitting in your seats in the class. When you're in the Zoom with me, you are on stage. So you're either a watcher or you're a doer in that moment. So if you're watching, you'll be watching the live, and then when we bring you back in to go on stage, please mute your live so we don't hear the feedback. Okay?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, so in my situation, how would I be able to do certain things? Because I have to sit in one spot as of right now.
So you're probably going to do a little bit of mostly close.
Okay.
And are you on a computer?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop.
Yeah, so, I mean, you'll be a little limited by that, but you can always, like, lift it over your head a little bit.
Okay.
You know, and you'll probably be able to do medium and like, more close.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, those are probably going to be your options. Or you just put the laptop on the ground and take a second and wheel away from it, and then that's okay, too. You know,
Okay.
like, I don't mind having patience. And the fact that, well, you're not in a wheelchair, right? Are you sitting on the couch?
I'm in the couch, yeah.
Okay, so you're actually not mobile right now. So I wouldn't worry about that. What I would think about is like, okay, how can I make the most of where I am right now? And it might just be that the close up is your best angle, but you can do a little bit of the up and down and maybe even like a side angle. Like you can just think about how can I be creative from where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, here we go, Joey. Who is up first, sir?
All right, I'm gonna get a little blast from the past here. Let's do Jason and Phoebe.
Okay, Jason and Phoebe. Oh yeah, they know each other.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit of OG chaos going on.
A
OG.
little bit. Yes. No, Phoebe.
Bringing it back for real, for real.
You just want us to try and put those things in the scene, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to let you do open scene work. I'm just going to basically give you about 2 minutes of just being open scene work for you to react. And I'll be just watching, and then I'll do some side coaching. I'll either come back in and talk about the scene, or I'll let you start over. But I just kind of want to see how you explore, this technology. And truthfully, like I said before, we are creating a brand new genre. And it's not just us. It's every improv troupe in the world right now is figuring out how do we do this thing, right? And so Phoebe asked me a really good question the other day on my show, and the truth is I hadn't really put much thought into it. So I came up with an answer right on the spot, but the truth is there's a lot of good answers for how to use cut scenes. Literally you could do this. It could be like, "Oh yeah, Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm sorry."
Hey, it's okay.
That's like a
You know
new
what?
scene. So the idea being like, I don't know how to cut, but for our troupe, it could be a white piece of paper slams into the camera, and then we know it's a shift, right? And then I saw that, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm going, oh, maybe we have a bunch of different pieces of paper with different things on it, and then that tells us where we're going, whatever. So there's like the options are literally unlimited. there are certain things you can add, like you could add props or you could add a hat or like different weird things, you know. Or you could just use regular space work. You know, you can kind of do both because now we're just living in a different improv world that we're all figuring out together.
What he's saying is the options are limitless.
Joey, come on, man. Limbitless. Okay, here we go.
All right.
And are you ready? Do you want to? Let's give him a word of inspiration, Joey.
Let's do hanger.
Hanger is your word of inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big round of applause.
Dad, I know you asked me to clean out my closet, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done by tomorrow. I got a lot going on.
You really don't have a lot going on. If you would just focus and stop arguing with me and spending so much time arguing and fighting me and cleaning, you'd probably be done by now.
Dad, I worked on it for hours. I just have a lot of clothes. Dad, I love you. And if you want my closet to be clean, that's what I'll do. I just don't know if it can be by tomorrow. I'm sorry.
I suppose it's a little bit my fault for not getting on you sooner. I mean, how did it get to be this bad?
I don't know. I mean, it feels like just yesterday you would say, go clean out your closet. And, you know, I would only have like one shirt, so it would just take like a minute.
I shouldn't have bought so many clothes either, you know? I mean,
yeah, I mean, Dad, sometimes it just feels like I'm never enough for you.
I feel like I need to make a stand. You know, you can't just tell me how much you love me and how it's my fault. You need to take responsibility for this closet.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying that I tried, but I couldn't get it done.
You know, this seems to be a theme. How's your project coming in biology?
It's not coming, Dad. I haven't started. But it's not my fault. I mean, the teacher just gave us so many. What? What'd you say, Dad?
This generation,
Listen, the teacher just gave us a lot to do, and I don't think it's my fault that there are like 18
it's not
chapters.
their fault that you haven't started. Do you even know what you're going to do your biology project on?
It's gonna be on frogs, Dad.
And what about frogs?
It's maybe about frogs' legs. It's what I was thinking. I mean, it's probably stupid.
All right, good. So let's talk about the scene real quick. How'd it feel, you two?
I feel like we got stuck on one thing a little bit. Or I don't know.
Yeah. Phoebe?
I thought it felt good. The angle helped a lot because just with what you were explaining, just making that choice gave so much information.
Totally. So Jason, I was thinking there was a missed opportunity there because she gave a very specific angle choice.
Okay.
So she said dad, right? And she came up. So it would be nice if you just subtly move your camera, take the time to move your camera, and then you be looking down at her. So if you would have tilted it back just a little bit, yeah, then you come from there. That feels more dad, right? So now you lean in and you can feel the power of that.
Okay.
All right. Then there was another so now on the improv side of things, there was a move where Phoebe was trying to get to a relationship, which was like I never feel like I'm enough for you, Dad, that type of thing, and you kept wanting to drive her back to the thing. So don't be afraid to go into that relationship and sort of deal with it, you know. And what's interesting is either choice is fine. So you can either feel bad about what she says and be like, oh wow, baby, you really feel that way? And she's like, yeah, and then you can go into it. Or you could just literally like, Dad, it feels like I'm not enough for you, and well, because you're not, sweetie. You know, like really either way is a choice, but you want to go ahead and deal with the thing she's giving you and not try to go backwards to the hangers. The other thing for the both of you, and it was cool that you went to the biology though, because then it became like potentially a pattern, right?
That was my attempt to try to change it, and I just changed the thing. But
Well, yeah, but I just want you to always deal with the relationship. Always find the relationship, okay, and then be able to like go and try to like make something of it. Then there's this opportunity too to figure out why does she have this hanger obsession, and where does it stem from? What's the core of that problem? And then maybe even getting into some kind of, because you sort of danced around it, Jason, where you said you're like this is becoming a theme or something. Using it as some sort of a metaphor, I
thought about saying something like this looks like the Stone Age layers of the Grand Canyon in here or something, but I said that might be too much of a joke.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and you don't want to go jokey, 'cause unless the dad's a jokester, right? So if the dad's a jokester, like it's fine that he does that kind of thing, but it's more like, like I don't know, these hangers, like what do they represent? What is the hanger in the mess? Like what does it represent?
I think it feels like it represents me being a bad dad because.
So there you go. So you'd say here's and she's like, I feel like I'm not enough for you or something, and you're like, sweetie, here's the thing, like you are, but each of these hangers, like every single one, reminds me of me feeling like I'm not enough as a dad, And look at them, they're piled up everywhere, and then you start like building and building on this thing, where now you're talking about the thing, but you're making the thing the relationship essentially. But that was really good. That was really fun. Like really, really excellent. So now it just brings up, like I said, there's a brand new type of improv. So for everyone out there listening right now, when you see an actor make a choice, it's okay to be patient for a second. And by the way, Phoebe, I want to tell you too, you could have been more patient. Mm-hmm. So you made the angle choice, but then right away you were already talking. Mm-hmm, so you were like, hey, dad, like right into it. Instead of going, look, let me make my angle choice. Let me try to connect so he can see it, and maybe we can get on the same page together. Because potentially, like, he could have been another kid if he wanted to be, and you could have made this choice, and then he could have made a similar choice, and you could have been two little kids on the playground or something also.
Yeah.
So be careful of forcing an idea on the other person too. Like, so you make your camera choice. That would just be like stepping on stage, sort of, right? Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, you might initiate, but you also don't have to like force the idea. You can soak them in and make sure that they're connected with you. All right. Okay. Very good. You two. We're bringing in the next two. Awesome job. We'll send you two back over to the live link.
Good job, Jason.
And we'll be bringing you back in here later. Who do we got, Joey?
Well, next.
Let me clear my throat, Joey says. Let me clear my throat. Bum, 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 bum.
Let me clear my throat.
Do I need to hit the stop video on mine?
No, we got that taken care of for you.
We got you.
Thank you, Joey, sir.
Next up, we've got.
He just wanted to drum roll it. Because literally, we could have had them in here like an hour ago.
Yeah, we really could have.
Yo, like, we don't have that all night, Joey.
We don't have all night. But
come on, bring him in. Let's go.
Okay,
let's go.
Come
on.
We got Amanda and Danielle.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
See, it didn't take.
So did you catch everything there on the last scene? Got some direction? Okay, good. So we're going to give you a word of inspiration. Now, for those of you who are new to improv, for our studio, what we like to teach, at least to start with, so that you don't get stuck talking about the thing, is to go A to C from your suggestion. So what was that first suggestion, Joey? Do you remember?
The first suggestion was hanger.
It was hanger. Okay, so we kind of went right back to hanger quickly, but you'll notice that Phoebe said, like, dad. So at least she established a relationship. But ideally, you're going to go, you get the suggestion, and then you go away from it, and then go away from it again. That's what A to C means. And then you can always come back to that idea. So if we give you a suggestion, let's say it's a kitchen. You don't have to be in the kitchen. You don't have to talk about the kitchen. Kitchen makes you think of what, Danielle?
Cooking.
Cooking. Now, good. Now go away from kitchen, from cooking, and cooking makes you think of what?
Family coming together.
Perfect.
Like a gathering.
Perfect. So now just be family. Just be at a family gathering, having nothing to do with cooking, nothing to do with kitchen. Okay, so then let's say that you're at like a family reunion and you're catching up with your cousin, and that's the conversation we're having. Then at some point in time, if we were doing like an improvised play, we could come back to the kitchen later on, but we're not stuck there, because a lot of times what happens is you get your suggestion and then you can't get the suggestion out of your head, and you keep like saying kitchen and like, oh, but the kitchen, and did I mention, have you seen the kitchen? It's so great, you know, and it becomes boring and you feel like panicky because you don't know what to say. So instead, you just be inspired by kitchen. It's sort of in the back of your mind, and I don't know why, but we're cousins at a reunion, and now we're just connecting our relationship, and then we'll get ourselves back to the hors d'oeuvres that happen to be in the kitchen. Tipping. Okay, that was good.
I could go the rest of the night without hearing the word kitchen. That would be great.
All right, so your suggestion for this scene is kitchen. Begin.
So are you gonna tell me, Rachel? Or what?
I don't know. I'm kind of shy about it.
Dude, just say it. I know you want to.
Lisa, like, you're putting me on the spot.
Please, you always like to be the center of attention.
No,
Yes.
I do not.
Rachel, just tell me what you did last night. Tell me what happened.
Oh, Lisa. So, I don't know if I want to tell you this, but yeah, I went to his place, and oh my gosh.
Okay, so you went to his place. Did he make you dinner? Did you guys watch a movie? Did you get to know each other more? What happened?
Yes, we went to his place, and then we watched a movie, and then he made me popcorn. And then, I don't know, I got kind of hungry, so we went to grocery shopping in the middle of the night.
Wait, this was your first date with him, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are already going grocery shopping together?
I got hungry, and then he didn't have anything to eat, any food. So we went grocery shopping, and then we went to cook in his kitchen. So nice, by the way.
Okay, Rachel, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
Good,
I'm
Amanda,
happy
and
to-
slowly start inching your camera up, coming down, just slowly, and you stay right where you are, Danielle.
Oh, me?
Yeah. So Amanda, you start like move your camera up just a little bit, so it's pointing down at you. Yeah, right there. That's good. Okay, and keep going.
Okay, Rachel, this is what I'm talking about. I'm happy for you, but every guy that you start to like, you get too attached. Like, you need to slow down.
Why?
Okay, you're gonna get hurt again. I'm just worried about you. Like, seriously, do you want to get hurt again?
What is so wrong about like going grocery shopping in the middle of the night?
Okay,
On
that's
our
like
first date.
that's like weird. You don't do that like the first date with somebody. Like, he should have the groceries all ready for you.
Well, he didn't have anything though. I'm not mad about it.
Rachel, I don't even know what to say, honestly.
All right, so Danielle, I'm gonna put this on you now. You need to use the grocery store as a like to tell her a story and to help her understand what it like dating life. So use like different aisles, different like types of food, and like the type of workers that are there, and like tell this whole story to try to help her understand how she should date. Okay, so just be like, okay, so it's like this. Okay, just tell her the story.
Like how like a guy should treat her? I guess I'm a little confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so Rachel, look. You know how like in the store, when you're shopping, you usually go there with a purpose, right? Like if you want to make a ham sandwich, you won't find me in the chip aisle, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to usually get the ham, and the ham has to go with the cheese. And shit, I don't know where I'm going.
Keep going. The weirder it gets, the better. The weirder it gets, the better. Keep going.
Okay.
Now it's the ham and the cheese. You gotta own that. You gotta own it.
Okay.
Now describe the cheese.
You gotta get your ham, and you gotta get your cheese, right? And to get the perfect sandwich, they gotta go together, right? Because I know you love ham and cheese. That's like the guy that you were with last night. What's his name? Michael or whatever. You, Rachel, and Michael, you guys are missing something in the middle. Like, I don't know if the cheese isn't right or the ham. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Like,
and then Amanda, all you have to do is say, I don't understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much it. All right, good. We'll stop there. Very good, ladies. That was awesome. So that's good. And there was like a million ways you could go with that, Danielle, which was amazing. And the cool thing is if you go into Weird Town and you're trying to tell the story, all Amanda has to do is go, like, no, that makes no sense to me. And then you back up and you do it again and you get worse. So you're like, okay, like think about this. Okay, so you're going down the frozen food section, okay? And then you open the frozen food section and there's a mouse. Okay? And you pick up the mouse and then the mouse starts running up your blouse and like having its way with you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I'm saying? And she's like, no, like whatever, right? And so that's weird. Then on the other side of it, it could be very obvious and like actually make sense. Where you could be like, okay, let's imagine that you're in the produce section, right? And like, okay, so you find like a nice big banana. All right, and like you want to eat that banana, like of course, like you'd love to eat it, like it looks delicious, and it's like that's a good looking banana, but you know what? You're gonna pay for it first, right? You're not just gonna eat it, like for the first one you see. You're also gonna like check out all the bananas, see which one's the best, whatever, like something like that. So again, you're like using this substitution idea. You fall into this place, and now you can talk about something without talking about the thing.
Oh, awesome. That's so good.
Now, I want to point something else out for our audience that's watching here. Danielle, on your side, as you started to get judgier of her character, you on your own settled yourself and came in more of a downward angle. You did it sort of without thinking about it. So then, Amanda, that's when I had you pay attention to it and just subtly move up. So if you can do that without getting caught, and you realize, oh, my character's falling into this place where she's feeling guilty and feeling sad, she could start to you could just slowly start kind of moving this way without anybody even noticing. And then let's just say she says something that offends you. You could just put it right back down and then put her in her place. And you could easily do a character switch that way, which would sort of like help with that. You could also do like Amanda, imagine being a young girl. Okay, so let's play the high angle. Okay, now you're just a young girl and you're like, excuse me, I need to, I'll tell you what, let me go get my mom, okay? And then say that and then step out.
Okay. I can't, I'm using my laptop.
But you'll just set it down.
Okay. Excuse me, just gonna get my mom, okay?
Okay, and then you step out. And then while you're out, tilt the camera up. And now step back in as the intimidating mom character. It's great. So it's funny because because both characters are you look the same, but now all of a sudden you're mom versus daughter, you know. Those are the kinds of moves you can make. All right? Okay, wonderful job, you two. Good job.
All right, next up we've got George and Chris.
Joey, on it, bro.
Yeah.
On it. That was quick. Much quicker.
Well, you know, I didn't sing a song this time, and I think that made the difference.
Well, here's the deal. I don't mind when you sing a song. It's just like have them already in and going, because now there's no delay. It's a little bit of delay, but not a lot.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but now, see, there's no time for my song anymore because they're both in there, so there's no excuse for me.
All right, here we go, George and Chris.
Right.
All right, so it's your turn. We're gonna give you a word to inspire you, or we could give them. Should we give them Let's just do open scenes. We'll give you a word to inspire you so that you can really soak everything in. To remind you and the class what we've dealt with so far, be patient, connect with each other. There should be the same improv rules. You want to be inspired by each other's eyes. Be detailed. If you name each other, that's very helpful. Pay attention to subtleties in camera angle, subtleties in change. And then don't be afraid to stick on the subject you're on right now and try to squeeze all the juice out of a moment that you can. All right? So let's take your time here, and we'll give you a word to inspire them. You got something for me, Joey?
Yeah, your word is flamboyant.
Flamboyant is your word. Let's give them a round of applause.
Claudia.
Mark, wow. Hi.
Hi. It's been a while since we've talked.
Yeah, it has been quite a while since we talked, Mark.
I feel we need to get some things. We need to clear the air a little bit.
We do. Yeah.
I lost Claudia.
Oh, they're back.
There. Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
There we are.
Why don't you take my stuff off?
Last weekend on the boat, I just felt that you were being a little bit judgmental.
How
It was
so?
a big day. It was a big day. It was a big day for us. And quite frankly, I wanted things to go well.
Well, yeah, it was a big day for us, but then you invited all your friends to come, and you kind of ignored me for most of the day.
Well, it was a big day for me with those two guys from Honeywell. There's a big contract we're working on. And there was another guy there from Intel that could have meant business. If we were able to get the contract with Honeywell, we get Intel. So
keep adding more
really
companies, George. Keep adding a bunch more companies.
and also Procter and Gamble. We also had remember we had the phone on. There were some guys calling in from Samsung.
Keep going.
I had to pay attention. I had to pay attention to those very special clients, those very important clients.
There's more. There were more. Keep getting ridiculous, George. More clients.
And then that was just the first hour. And then we got on the video conference call, and there was Hitachi. There was Sony. There was Cobra Kai. And then the guys came up in the dinghy and got on the boat from Chicken in the Sea, the other tuna manufacturer, Albacore, and us. And then probably the height of the day was when the submarine came up next to the boat. And the guys came out from Captain Bob's Undersea Adventure. and I just needed you there by my side.
You know, you always overdo everything. All those people really didn't fit too well on the boat as it was. And I just don't understand why you invited that many people on the weekend. I mean, I know it's a big deal, but couldn't it wait till Monday?
Now listen to me, Claudia. Listen to me very carefully. The lifestyle that you have gotten very used to.
Put your eyes in the camera the other way, George. The other way. Your eyes the other way.
There, the other way. The lifestyle you've gotten very used to. It takes a lot of money, Claudia. A lot of money. and I need you.
Let yourself
to
be intimidated, Chris. Bring the camera up a bit. And go ahead and give him the power. Like, give him the power. It's okay that he's a powerful man, okay? You be looking up at him. Keep going.
I needed you to have on your best dress, your best smile, your best attitude. Do you understand me, Claudia?
Bring in camera closer, Chris. Camera close. I want to see your fear. Do you understand him? Closer.
Okay, Mark, I'm sorry. Yes, I understand. Pretty much.
What part don't you understand?
I don't know. I understand you need to make money, but I really always feel second fiddle. I don't get it. I feel like I'm just there to be on your arm, but I'm not with you at all. You're not paying attention to me.
You were angry?
I'm hurt, Mark. I'm hurt. I'm not angry. Okay, I'm angry.
Claudia, I don't want you to be angry. I need you. I'm not going to close that chicken of the sea contract without you, honey. I need you.
Okay, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry too. I want you to close the chicken of the sea contract.
All right, scene. We'll stop there. Very good. That was great, George. So we see what he did there, audience. You can tell that he was able to move the camera and use that as a way to change his character's perspective. So his character had a very specific want, right? Mark wanted her to get on his side so he could make some business deals. He needs his woman by his side or he can't make the business deal. He tried intimidation. It kind of didn't work. So then he tried groveling, and then he got his way, which is interesting. And just by moving the camera up, he looked very submissive to you, Chris, which apparently your character really liked, because she didn't give in until he submitted. Yeah, so that was good. From an improv standpoint, George, so I let you just sort of lean into a game there. So when you get into a riff like that, you can let your mind start going and go, okay, like this is weird. I'm talking about these big companies. If I keep going, and then you keep going into, like you kind of went into the ridiculous eventually, but you just keep going, and then all of a sudden, and then, and smoking the cigars was, whoever, and then, and you could keep talking about what happened and how she reacted, and you're like, you kept trying to grab my attention, and I was trying to talk to Cuba Gooding Jr. about, whatever, and then there's like another person, and you keep just adding on, and so that is like you can go on one of these like long speeches sometimes, and it's okay because you're talking, but they're talking also as they're listening and reacting to you. And then Chris, the same idea, you can go one of two ways. So you could listen to all that, and then you could sort of like realize that you're in the wrong, or you could hear all that and then just totally maintain your point of view, which is the choice you made, which either way is very good as long as you are very specific about the choice you're making. So well done, you two. And the names were great. Like the names made it. So you repeating Mark and repeating Claudia, it gave us a feel for who these two people were, which was really nice too.
Good.
All right, good job. Good job. Who we got, Joey?
Next up, we've got Christina and Monica.
Christina and Monica.
Christina
right up.
and Monica. Christina and Monica. See, I had time to sing that time.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm. I bet they liked my song. We can
Of course
ask
they
them.
liked your
Camera angles, so we can
Oh.
use the Zoom to our best advantage. We're also going to talk about edits.
We're going to want to mute
So
that.
as improvisers, and we're going to be.
All right.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was mine. It's like,
Sounded like a great speech.
I was on mute.
I get it, because he was.
All right, here we go.
Giving the speech.
So you've been watching, paying attention. We're gonna let you just jump right into a scene. You get to play the whole thing from beginning to end. Let's give them a word to inspire them, Joey.
Okay, their word of inspiration is chords.
Chords. Chords is your word of inspiration. Go A to C. Let's give them a round of applause.
So neither of us is talking about it?
I just don't know what to say.
I mean, it happened. We have to talk about it.
I'm not in the mood, honestly.
Look, you text me and said we gotta talk about it, so we should talk about it.
Well, I changed my mind.
Really? You're gonna change your mind?
It's been a long day.
You always do that. You always say, let's talk during the text, and then you change your mind when I call you. You gotta pick and choose.
Good. Freeze for 1 second and just look at each other. Stay right in character. Okay? Look at each other. Allow your brains to operate as you see the other person. They are a name. You can name them. You are a name. You can name yourself if you need to. But really just kind of breathe into it. Take your time. And let's see what adding a name to the scene does.
Look, Rhea, I really just want you to talk to me about it. It happened, so I just really need you to talk to me about it, Rhea.
Julie, you know how hard it was for me, that experience. I just don't want to think about it.
But I'm your big sister. I mean, I know we're adopted, but you're still my sister. I want you to talk to me about it.
Tell her if she was a real sister, you could.
Exactly.
No, tell her that.
You were adopted,
Yeah.
so you're not really my sister.
Not through blood, yeah. So, but I
Makes
am.
a difference.
You came in my room all the time, so, and I let you.
Which I appreciated, but this is different.
Well, I just want you to know, when you're ready to talk about it, I'm here.
It happened so fast. There was water everywhere.
And what else? Keep
I don't
going.
wanna
Keep
talk
going.
about
There was
it.
water everywhere. Keep going. Just start
There was
talking about
water everywhere. And
a canoe.
in a canoe.
Good. And keep going. And inside the canoe.
And inside the canoe was a bunch. There was a canoe. Inside the canoe, there was a dog and some cords.
And the dog was tied up. Yeah, that's great. Okay, good job. Nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. What's that?
That was hard.
It's
was-
hard not to laugh.
What was hard? Which part was hard? What are you talking about?
Well, when she said the dog and then the cords, and I was like, that's super random.
Super
like,
random and so funny. What was hard, Monica?
It was
Like the whole scene
the
or just the end?
The A to C thought process.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So there's a thing I want you to start learning as an improviser, and the little moments I want your ear to start perking up to, and we're seeing patterns happening tonight. So notice what's the same about your scene as other scenes, right?
Mhm.
Nothing you say should be just dismissed.
Okay.
So the reason I stopped on the one moment was because she mentioned adopted. That added a whole huge piece of information, right? So it didn't mean you didn't need to be a jerk necessarily. I just threw that out there, but you didn't want to just like let it go and act like it's no big deal. So she's like, hey, here's a massive piece of information that neither of us knew about for this scene yet. And now all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gifting you with it. So you're going to now go into, like, you could go into the whole thing about whatever, the adoption process, or like how was she adopted, or how long has she been with the family. I mean, there's just so many details there that we can sort of squeeze out, right? Then the water everywhere. Like, I was like, what is that? Like, what is that? I have no idea. So because I knew it was weird, that's why I wanted you to go to the next thing that didn't make sense. And that's why I threw out canoe, because I don't know why, but when you said water, I just thought of two things. I thought of, number one, like your water breaking, like you were pregnant. And number two, I just thought of canoe. Like, I don't know why, like water everywhere. And I just thought of canoe. So I'm like, all right, water breaking, it seems like, okay, that's an obvious choice, but also you didn't act like that from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not like congruent with what's going on. So I'm like, okay, let's throw out canoe and see what happens. Now you're stuck in this water everywhere, and there was a canoe, and the fact that you don't know, that's a true state of improv. You've put yourself in a place where you cannot predict what comes next out of your mouth, and although you probably filtered some ideas out, those are the ones we want to hear, actually. So like, what did you filter out?
Well, when I thought of water, I was thinking cords. So someone got electrocuted.
Oh, I see. Okay. But even that, like, even that's fine. So there's water everywhere. But what I'm saying is, like, so when you go, so I want you to like quickly go to the next thing.
Okay.
So there was water everywhere, and there was a bathtub, and there was a foot. And then there was a shower curtain, and up to the shower curtain was a rubber ducky, and attached to that rubber ducky was a hand. It was a plastic hand attached to a Barbie doll, and that Barbie doll's hair was frizzed out because a cord dropped in and fried the Barbie doll, and that was the Barbie doll that Mom gave me before the war. Whatever, you just keep going randomly.
Okay.
So you're going down this path of like, as soon as you get into improv of I don't know. And then you take it very seriously in the moment, that's when it becomes very funny. And so when you went to canoe to dog, I didn't see chords coming. Like I had completely forgotten about chords by then. You took our minds way away from it. So when you brought it back in, you cracked me, you cracked Joey, you cracked Christina. It was awesome.
Triple crack.
Yeah. And then Christina, you said you're on a laptop, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how, but there's you need to find a way to adjust your settings so you can keep your aperture the same, because it keeps going darker and lighter.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll figure that out.
Yeah, I figured this out on my phone recently, so I can just share this with everybody out there. If you hold down on your face long enough on the phone, you'll keep
an iPhone.
On an iPhone, you'll keep the same exposure. And it's taken me like 4 months or however long we've been doing virtual classes to figure this out. I probably should have Googled it, but I didn't. So, all right. Thank you, ladies. Good job. Very good.
Thank you.
We'll bring everyone back in for questions at the end here. Well, who do we got next?
That was everyone.
That was everybody?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
On your face.
All right, very good. So if you are watching online, thank you so much for watching. We're going to take a few questions right now, so you can stick around for those questions, and then I'll give the class here the last 5 or 10 minutes to just sort of hang out and check in with each other for a minute. So anybody have any questions for me based off of the scene work that we did, or any stuck moments you had? And are they all unmuted right now?
They are all unmuted.
Okay, Amanda, go ahead.
Would you recommend us using phones from like now on? Just to be easier.
You know what? Probably. Yeah. I mean, if you have the capability to do a phone and then maybe even have a computer where you can run the live from there, that might be easier for you. So especially if we're going to be dealing with camera angles.
Okay.
So if you're just going to be improvising and just kind of close up, kind of just practicing like idea generating, like that's cool. But it is going to limit you as far as what you can do with certain things. And as a matter of fact, I am planning on gathering a little bit of like a survivalist list of things you could purchase for cheap. like a little iPhone stand and different things that we've done some research on. So I'm going to create that and send a link if anybody wants to, create themselves a little, tiny mini studio that they can say, all right, like this is on the cheap for like less than $100. I can have like an entire little studio that makes it easier for me to do this stuff. So that is coming. So good question. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, Phoebe?
I was just gonna say, Chris did that, and you can see how well lit she is. It's amazing.
Yeah, the only thing is it's stable, so I've got to pull it off of the stand to be able to move around with it. So I'm gonna have to work on that.
How big's the stand?
Oh, it can telescope up 3 feet, and so
so you're on like a big tripod thing.
It's like on a tripod, and then above it is a ring light, and so the
I see.
tripod. It's kind of hard to move without being real obvious.
Got it. Okay, cool. George, you had a question?
Yes. So there's a lot of moving parts. So we're trying to stay in the scene, and keep it fresh, keep it moving. We're also now trying to move our camera angles to enhance the scene. So just give me some of your thoughts on how that's going to maybe all come together where it doesn't seem mechanical.
My thought is more and more and more patience. I don't think we're having enough patience, because like an audience is going to stick with you. And so sometimes we're just rushing into the next thing. We're talking over the other person, which can be very difficult in this format. So you want to give things space, let things really hit and settle. And just sort of be okay with taking your time. I do believe that the moment Phoebe and I had was a really good example. So if that was a longer show. I think it was like 45 minutes. But Joey just put out a video today that just cut right to the meat. It's called How to Improvise on Zoom, and it's like a little 10-minute video on our YouTube. Watch that really quick. You'll see She asked me a question about editing, and then I just jump into a character really quick. I exit and come back in, and so you can see sort of how that would look like from a patient standpoint. And you'll watch me as an actor in that moment, because I didn't even know I was going to jump into a scene. I was just trying to demonstrate for her. So you'll watch me as an actor process new information. There's literally in the beginning, she says something. I think she says the word core.
The core.
But I couldn't understand her because my headphones were off. So I asked her sincerely, what did she say? She clarified it. As she clarified it, my character listened, and I kind of fell deeper into character. You'll see a lot of patience, but there's a lot happening in my eyes because I'm using the patience to sort of help me define who I am. And now, like, everything that's happened is still true. So I still, like, didn't understand her, so now I had to justify that from my point of view. Then Phoebe did a wonderful job. She's an excellent improviser, so she did a good job of hearing, hey, there's this repetitive pattern here. So she kept setting me up for coming back to this thing and making this one thing important. And I think we mentioned that earlier in the class here about not like jumping to the next thing right away. You'll see Phoebe and I, like, we could have just sat there for a long time talking about this one tiny thing and squeezing a lot of juice out of it without necessarily moving forward into anything else. So that'd be a good example to help you see where hopefully this is going to be going. And I mean, I didn't do anything where I got up and like moved the camera, but I kind of exited and came back in. So and that's just because of the format we've got here. But if I had that option, I could have done it very easily. And the way you do it is just slowly kind of setting it exactly where you want it. You should see, like George, if you're going to do the wide angle, I would even step out a frame. I would set it. I would have it on where I could see what I'm looking at and go, okay, I like that angle right there because I want to come through the hallway or something, and then leave it, step out, and then come back in. So just more and more patience. And I think you did that in your scene actually really well tonight.
Yeah, it's just a lot more. So I think you're right. Slow it down.
Slow it down. Yep, that's exactly right. And you just did it just now, literally. You could hear the little weird delay between you and I. So you stop talking for 1 second, take a breath, make sure you have the focus back, and then you speak again. So there's little things that you have to shift. But think about this, everybody. Like I've said before, this is a new genre of acting, so we have to make subtle adjustments. Other things, though, are just true. Like truth will never go away. Emotional connection will never go away. Like all the truths about acting don't change. So it's interesting. Someone would be like, hey, I only just want to be a voice actor. And I'm like, okay, cool. But you actually just need to learn how to be an actor first. And then we attach the little tiny nuances that come along with being a voice actor. But you're either a good actor or you're not. So whether you're on camera or behind the microphone, it kind of doesn't matter. You still just have to be a good actor. So know that like this is a different genre, but all the acting technique, all the improv technique is still true. We just have to find new ways of making it work for this setting. Who else has a question? Anybody? Yes, Christina?
So as far as moving the camera, keeping the camera in one space, because I was thinking about that. So sometimes in the kitchen I do cook and I set my phone down, but I'm on speaker. So if I set the camera down, but I'm talking, but you see me occasionally, is that something that's okay to be done?
Totally. Yes. And see, that's a character choice.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, and who would you do that with? You probably wouldn't do that with your boss if you were having like an interview, right?
No.
But you do it with your husband because like, okay, you see him, cool. Now he can just listen to you and you can listen to him and you could talk. So the act of doing that, of setting the phone down and your angle is the ceiling for a moment, and then every now and then you pop your head over, which would be funny, but it demonstrates an intimacy, right?
Okay.
So then if we were on a first date and then you did that, or I was your boss and you did that, now I might be like disturbed by it. You know, like we don't have that intimate relationship. Why are you doing that? You know, so like there's all sorts of choices like that, but you understand exactly. You're like, yes, anything you do in life with the phone is fair game. And actually, we've all, like, I don't know if you guys have done this, but it's weird how much now I am accustomed to hitting the FaceTime button instead of the call button. Like it's become regular for me. Like if I'm calling my wife, I used to call her, now I FaceTime her. Like it's like every time. It's just the way it is now. So weirdly, we're kind of becoming accustomed to this like video talk, right? Now, and this is gonna freak you out a little bit. Watch human nature as people are talking to you and to each other. Notice how someone's holding the camera. Are they coming down? Are they looking down at you? Like subconsciously, people do different things with their phone, and you set it a certain way for different meetings and things, and you don't even know you're doing it, but you do it. Like I said about Danielle's scene, she didn't realize she did it, but about half, like as you started to become a little bit more judgmental of your scene partner's character, you just subtly started kind of leaning down. And like we do that in life. It's just, it happens.
That's good. Well, that's funny because I had a doctor's appointment earlier today and I had my phone on my lap, and then occasionally I would pick it back up or look down to see if she can see me just to make sure it was good.
Yeah. So you must like your doctor.
I do.
All right. Any other questions? We have time for one more. All right, everybody, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Thank you if you're watching online. Sure appreciate you being with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. That means a lot to us. Class, you can head on back to the virtual lobby and just hang out with each other for a few minutes as we clean up for the night. Jason, dude, it's so good to have you back.